Good morning YouTube and welcome back to the channel. This is iMax Sports with another football video, and today I'm going over my predictions for the NFC South. This is the second to last installment of the series where I've been going through every single division in football and I've been predicting how every team is going to do in every single game. There are 256 games in the season, and today I'm going to be going over the NFC South games. So make sure to watch till the end of the video to see what I think of every team. And I'm excited to be back because this is my first video back with a face cam. So when we get into the video, I will turn that on. And as always, make sure to like the video if you enjoy the content. I do come out with new videos almost every day, and I'm excited to have a new schedule when the football season starts. So tomorrow I'm going to be doing another one of these, because I'm a week behind, and then at some point in time, I think probably on Saturday, I'm going to come out with my final. Some way I'm going to make sure that people know what my final predictions are, because these will change. These are subject to change, and the predictions will be finalized before the Thursday night game. So everything that I am predicting will be finalized by the Thursday night game. So without further ado, so the first team on the list is the Carolina Panthers. I think the Carolina Panthers are going to go 4-12. I think that a lot of teams, so basically I don't think the Panthers have a bad team, but I think that the rest of the NFL has gotten much better over the past year. I think that the Panthers didn't have a great offseason. They didn't really add a whole lot. They got Teddy Bridgewater, but other than that, their offensive weapons are not extremely remarkable. I know Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league, but there's a little bit of issues overall on the team, especially in the defense. So I have them losing out a whole bunch of games at the beginning of the year, partly because Teddy Bridgewater will be a new quarterback, and since he's a brand new quarterback in a new system with no preseason games, that might be hard for him to adjust. So I think that they'll lose to the Raiders, they'll lose to the Bucs, they will lose to the Chargers, they'll lose to the Cardinals, and they'll lose to the Falcons. I think those are all tough games. I think the Raiders is the easiest of those games, and it's the first game of the season. I think that Derek Carr will be more comfortable than Teddy Bridgewater that first game. After that, we have the Bears, and I think that the Bears will be a win. They're at home. Teddy Bridgewater is more accustomed to the system. I think that this can be a good win for them. I have them losing out to the Saints. I have them splitting with the Falcons and the Bucs. I think that they can win those divisional games because they are divisional rivalries, and the established players are going to know how to deal with those teams. So I think that those can be games that they'll split. But I do not have them splitting with the Saints. I think the Saints are going to win the division, and they're going to have a very strong team. I have them losing to the Chiefs. I have them splitting with the Bucs. I have them losing to the Lions. I think the Lions are another team that are similar to the Panthers in the fact that they're not the strongest in the world, so having them lose to the Lions was a tough decision, but they are at home. I think that Detroit can go in there, and I think that Detroit will win that game. I think that they'll lose to the Vikings in Minnesota. That's going to be a tough game. I think that they'll lose to the Broncos. In Denver is always tough. Never mind if your team is the Panthers. And then the last three games of the season are the Packers, the Redskins, and the Saints. I have them beating the Redskins and losing to the Packers and Saints. Next up is the Falcons, and I think that the Falcons are going to go 8-8. I think the Falcons have a very strong team this year coming up, and the only reason why they aren't going to be a better team is because I think they have the toughest schedule. Since they were second in their division, and so were the Seahawks and the Cowboys, I think the Seahawks and the Cowboys are both going to win their division this year. They're both going to get stronger, and the Falcons are going to get weaker. They're going to go down to third. So now you have a third seed, or not a third seed, but a third team in the division fighting two firsts, and I think that that's going to be a huge swing for them. I think they're going to lose both of those games. I think they're going to win 3 in a row, beating the Bears, the Packers, and the Panthers. I think that they're going to lose to the Vikings in a close game. The Vikings and the Falcons are both going to be fighting for a playoff spot. And then I think that they'll beat the Lions because I don't think the Lions are going to be remarkable this year. And then I have them splitting with the Panthers, again, like I mentioned earlier. I have them losing to the Broncos. I think the Broncos are going to have a tough team this year, and they are at home. They're not in Denver, but I still think that Denver can have a very strong showing against the Falcons. The reason why I have them beating Aaron Rodgers is because it's Aaron Rodgers versus Matt Ryan. I don't think defenses are going to play a factor. I really don't. I know the Packers defense is much stronger than the Falcons, but I don't think it's going to play a factor. I think that, completely honestly, the Falcons are just going to wipe the Packers because it's going to be Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers. They're going to be bombing balls, and I think that it's going to be a super high-scoring game, like 35-33 or something. And that's why the Falcons will come out on top. I think that they'll split with the Saints. They will split with the Bucs. They'll beat the Raiders and Chargers because that division, frankly, is not the strongest in the world, and I think that they can beat both of those teams fairly easily. And they will lose to the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think are going to be one of the strongest teams in the league once again. After the Falcons, we go to the Buccaneers. And with Tom Brady, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, and Ronald Jones, and anyone else that they happen to have that I'm forgetting on offense, they're probably going to have the strongest offense in the league. I'm still not sold on their defense, although I have their defense in one of my fantasy leagues, but I'm still not sold on the production of the defense and how well it's going to do. I have them going 11-5. I think that they have a fairly easy schedule, and I would not be surprised if they go 12-4 because they have an easy schedule. But their schedule is going to be key, because if you look at their schedule, they're against third string teams in the divisions. So they're because they were third in the division last year. So their extra games are the Rams and the Giants. And I think that both of those games are much easier than the Falcons' 2 extra games. If they were swapped, the Falcons might even have a chance at the playoffs, but they aren't. So first game of the season, I think they lose to the Saints. The Saints, Drew Brees has been with the Saints for years. Tom Brady's just coming into a new system. I think that they'll split with the Saints 50-50, but I think the Saints will come out on top that first game. I have them splitting with every team in the division. So I have them splitting with the Panthers and the Falcons. Week 3, I have them beating the Broncos probably pretty handily. I think they'll also beat the Chargers pretty handily. And then the Bears game, I think that might be a slightly closer game because the Bears have a solid defense. But I don't think the Bears are going to be putting up a whole lot of points this year. And so if Tom Brady can crack their defense, then that won't even be a close game. I have them losing to the Packers. And that's because I think that Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, again, it's just like the Matt Ryan game. It doesn't matter at that point. It's Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. And I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to be slightly better. I'm not really sure why. I just have a feeling. I think that they're going to beat the Raiders. I think they're going to beat the Giants. I think those will be 2 easy games. And then I have them losing to New Orleans I have them beating New Orleans because I think that they will split, but New Orleans will win the first matchup. And at this point, the Bucs are going into the New Orleans game. They're going to be 6-2, and they're thinking, okay, we have a chance at a top playoff spot, but we need to keep up with the Saints. At this point in time, you'll see where the Saints' record is. So the Bucs are going to have much more pressure on them to continue to do well, and that's why they'll win that game. Next is the Panthers game. They'll lose to the Panthers, splitting with them. They could very well win this game and go 12-4. This was a last-minute decision. I have them beating the Rams. I have them losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. And that is also subject to change. I have them and the Saints currently losing to the Chiefs. But I don't think the Chiefs will beat both teams. So I have both teams beating them right now because I'm not really sure who is on the more likely to lose to them or beat them. So I have both teams losing to them right now. But I think that the Chiefs could very well beat either team or lose to at least one or both of them. So that's a very interesting 2 games that I need to decide what I'm doing with. Next is the Vikings, and I think that will be a win. They will lose to the Falcons the first time because there won't be a whole lot of pressure on them. They'll be 9-4, and the Saints will be 11-2. So they'll be thinking, okay, we made the playoffs, we're not going to win the division. They'll lose that game. and then they will beat the Falcons the last game of the season. The Falcons will be I think that could be a loss, because if the Bucs cannot win the division at that point, then they might sit their best players, and the Falcons could potentially win that game and make it to the playoffs. So that's also up in the air. So if the Chiefs, the Panthers, and the Falcons games all change, then they could end up 12-4, but I'm really not sure. Those are all really up in the air games, and I think they could go any which way. Last but not least is the Saints, who I think are the best team in the division, possibly one of the best teams in the NFC. They've done very well the past few years. Drew Brees' winning percentage has been extremely high, and I think they're going to continue that trend without question. So first of all, we have an 8-game winning streak, 7-game winning streak to start off the season. We have them beating the Bucs. We have them beating the Raiders. We have them beating the Packers. And I think that Drew Brees versus Aaron Rodgers, again, powerhouse quarterbacks, it's going to be a shootout. I think Drew Brees has the edge there. And then we have the Lions, who they will destroy. The Chargers will be a pretty good game for the Saints as well. And then the Panthers and the Bears, I have them beating the Panthers twice, because I think that I don't think the Panthers even stand a chance against the Saints. I don't think it will even be close. Teddy Bridgewater does kind of know the defense, because he was on the Saints for a couple of years as a backup, and he played as a starter when Brees was injured, but I still don't think that'll be enough to help them win. I think that the Bears will take an L here as well, and they'll finally get their first loss to the Bucs when the Bucs are pressured to step it up. Next game is the 49ers, and I think that this will be a deciding game for not only this division, but for the NFC West as well, because the NFC West will have a lot of impact from other divisions, and I think that the Saints beating the 49ers in this game will be a major change for that division in whether the 49ers or Seahawks will win. The Seahawks have the Falcons, and the 49ers have the Saints, and those are two majorly different teams. And I think that the Seahawks are going to have the advantage there, trying to get that top spot in the division. Next is the Falcons, who will take an L. They'll split with the Falcons as well. The Falcons are going to win the first game, are going to lose the first game, win the second game, and disrupt the Saints' 3-game winning streak. After that, the Saints are going to beat the Eagles. I don't even think that's going to be close. I think that the Eagles have a strong team, but I don't think that they are anything compared to the Saints. I think they'll lose to Kansas City. Again, this game is tentative to change, because I don't know if Kansas City will be able to beat both the Saints and the Bucs. I think that would be a tough task to tango with. So I might change one of those games, but I might not, because I think that the Chiefs are the more likely team to win in either of those games. So you have to bet on the winning team, because if I pick the Saints to win and then the Bucs win, I'd rather win. I'd have one right than have none right. So, and then the last two games are the Vikings and the Panthers, and I think that those will be wins, because the Saints need to win those games to get that top spot, or to potentially get a first-round bye. And since they want that first-round bye, they're going to win those two games and get that first-round bye. So those are my predictions for the NFC South going into this week. I have the NFC West tomorrow, and at some point I will be releasing my final set of every single game, so that you guys can see it all in front of you, and I have visible proof of the games that I decided to pick. I'll probably put a 1-minute video just showing, a 1 or 2 minute video just showing my spreadsheet. I don't even expect people to watch it, but it's just going to be an extra video saying, these are my predictions. This is just saying, hey, I'm actually going to follow what I say at the beginning of the season, and you guys can keep me accountable, and I'll see how I do. So these are subject to change, but I do expect to have it be mostly the same. So thank you guys all for watching. I really do enjoy it. I appreciate your support, and it's this is a great hobby of mine that I've enjoyed doing. Again, I'll be making a couple less videos because I have schoolwork to do now. It's not extremely strenuous, but it's still schoolwork, and I still need to make sure to put school first. So I appreciate all the support, and I appreciate all the support I got on my return video. It has 8 views and it already has 5 likes, and I'm really grateful for that, because I know that as a small YouTuber it's hard to get a good fan base going, and I'm glad that everyone was so supportive when I eventually came back from my short break. So thank you guys for all that support. Make sure to tell your friends about the channel. We're trying to reach 30 subscribers. We haven't gained a subscriber in a while, but our views have been increasing, so that's always good. So thank you guys all for watching again, and I'm just rambling now, so I'm just gonna say it. Peace out.